Welcome to Geocache Adventures with me, Shadow Dragon 1, where I talk about geocaching and my adventures with it.
With the coronavirus COVID-19 being an issue, my son's school, like many others, is closed until further notice. Like many other parents right now, I'm trying to balance working from home and providing schooling for my son. Before the school set up any online alternatives for the kids, I had fortunately had some practice books for addition, subtraction, and writing that we were using already, and his teacher had sent home some extra reading practice material when they first started talking about shutting down. I used some internet sources to help figure out some science and social studies work that was grade level appropriate and came up with my own outline for a daily school routine. So now I'm working 4 hours in the morning, spending 4 or 5 hours with my son, and then working my last 4 hours in the evening. And during that 4 to 5 hours with him, I'm trying to balance learning activities and spending quality time together. So on our first day of this new routine, he wanted to have gym class. I had decided on animal habitats for our first science lesson, so I thought, why not combine science, gym, reading, and quality time together? The weather was a bit chilly, but it was decent out, so we grabbed his soccer ball and his football, and we headed off to the park. We went to Veterans Tribute Park, the same one I mentioned in the last episode. I'll have a link to the park's website in the show notes. There was a geocache there that we had previously locked as it did not find. There was parking close to the geocache, but I decided to park at one of the further parking locations, and we used the long walk to talk about what animal habitats were, as well as look for some along the way and talk about what kinds of animals would live there. After the geocache, we went over to the book walk for reading. For those not familiar with the storybook walk, the county library system in the area has partnered with some local parks to set up signposts along different walking paths, and at each post is a page of a children's book. So you walk the trail and read the book, and the book gets changed out on a set schedule. There is a link in the show notes if you'd like to learn more about the storybook walk. So after the book walk, we went back to the car for the soccer ball and football for gym class, and after that we went and just played on the playground for a while. Warning, this part of the show contains spoilers for the cache that is about to be discussed. The cache was called Belly Button. Cache ID GC86E7Q. Difficulty rating 3.5. Terrain rating 2.5. The description read, 5th cache. I'll be placing constantly. There is some tree climbing required to get to this one. The first to find goes to Nano Nabber 69. Come on, I want to see you fight for this one. Once found, you can click the link for some other hides. Location has changed as of 3/2/2020. Hint, belly button or backside. Note, the hint was updated after the location was changed. I originally tried to find this cache with my son back in December 2019. The location led us to a large tree off the walking path a bit, on the edge of a grove of trees. But despite finding what seemed like the perfect spot based on the name and original hint given, a little hole near the base of the tree that looked like a belly button, we didn't find anything. There was one other did not find, logged at that point, and we logged as it did not find as well. I kept watch on the cache activity over the course of a couple months. 4 more do not finds were logged by other cachers. It seemed that the cache had been muggled. About 2.5 months after our initial did not find log, the owner of the cache posted that the cache had been moved to a new location. About 2 weeks after the cache had been relocated, my son and I went to the park to avenge our do not find and do some school stuff. The pin location led us to the same tree as before, and with the new hint, we found the cache on the back side of the tree. The cache was a small, copper-colored bison tube nestled at the base of a hole in the tree that was fairly high up. I'm 5'7", and I had to stand on my tiptoes to reach it. My son was super excited. He kept going on about how we didn't find it before, but we found it this time. And he really liked watching the blue disappointed face turn yellow smiley face on the app. With the geocache and all the other activities we did at the park, we spent about 2 hours there. Then it was back home so I could go back to working, and he played with his Hot Wheels for a while. It's a difficult time for a lot of people right now, and there are certainly people in much more difficult situations than my family and I are in currently. I'm just glad I was able to find some balance between trying to be his teacher and just being his mom, and still being able to share in something that we enjoy doing together.
You have been listening to Geocache Adventures with me, Shadow Dragon 1. Feel free to reach out to me on my geocaching profile page, Shadow Dragon 1, or at geocacheadventures.org. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and thank you for listening.